At the beginning, there were two: Father Time, known as Theum, and Mother Space, Sharash. They lived in the emptiness of all that was, wandering hand in hand. On their long walk, Theum realized that he had no clue how long they had been walking, to which Sharash agreed. To both of them, it could have been forever. So Theum took his hand from his wife's and placed it upon his chin to think. From the gap that formed between each palm came Sunette. Though neither noticed her small form, Sunette was darkness, while the void was neither dark nor light before her. Presence had filled it to the brim. Theum and Siraj fumbled through the dark, unable to see one another and lost within the void. Theum called out to his lover, and Siraj called back. As the two came closer, Theum stumbled and tripped. His head plummeted down and struck Siraj in the belly. The thought within his mind moved from within his skull and into Siraj's womb. As Siraj bent down to help Theum up from his knees, her belly grew and grew until eventually it nearly popped from how large it had grown. Up from her first came a coursing river. Spewing and spraying, bridled chaos spread through the void. Next came tremors. Siraj shook the very void itself as her contractions grew closer together. The once empty space filled with land, barren and rocky. Then finally, with a hearty push, came a dazzling light that filled the void and covered the earth with its warmth. A boy named Lordran. Lordran's shining light would push Sunette away, her darkness fading to behind their parents' back. As she hid behind Theum's legs, peeking at the boy, he would spot her, and eager to play, he would approach. But as Lordran grew closer, Sunette would walk the other way. Lordran was nothing if not persistent, and would keep his pursuit, no matter what route he took, bobbing left and right as he circled the earth. He could not reach Sunette. After 365 times of running around the earth, Lordran would stop to ask his father what he should do to get Sunette to talk to him. Theum had not been idle. Lordran had chased Sunette round and round, and developed a tool to mark down each lap Lordran had made. He showed it to the boy, and told him to take a ball of clay from the earth and write. Lordran listened well, and did as his father had advised, writing a message to Sunette, and leaving the ball with Theum before setting off once again. As Lordran crested the horizon, Sunette would approach her father, who was beckoning her to come close. He taught her to read and write, and she would use the newly learned skill to reply on the ball of clay that lay before her. She would leave it with Theum as Lordran quickly approached and she scurried off. Lordran would read the ball and, eager to reply, would write out a long message to Sunette, even running out of space and adding more clay to the ball. The cycle would repeat, Lordran coming, writing more and more each time, and adding more clay before scurrying away so Sunette could approach. As the ball grew larger and larger, Sunette's fingers would begin to sink into it. Its weight harder to manage with every cycle, Lordran would not mind the divots into the ball, seeing them as a way for the two to indirectly touch, and as close to holding hands as he could get. So eager not to erase what little he could see of Sunette, he would leave each divot, and the messages would grow smaller each time. Eventually, there was so little space for Lordran to write on that he decided it was time to ensure what was left could not be broken. With much of his energy, he allowed his heat to rise into a blazing inferno, turning the dimpled ball into dried clay before setting off after Sunette once more. Sunette would see the ball and feel its difference, her fingers no longer forming the divots in it. Trying to rehydrate the clay, Sunette would pour and brush milk from herself into the ball, leaving it for Lordran to write once more. Lordran, upon his return, would see the sphere, soft once more, and would turn his heat up even further than before. The heat upon the ball would react with the milk and turn the clay into fine pottery, a white shine that reflected Lordran's light, becoming a young boy that Lordran would name Ipni. Lordran would leave Ipni with his grandparents, who would teach the boy how to speak, walk, and all the skills needed to survive. Sunette would fast approach and would see her creation. Loving him from the first glance, she would take the child with her. Walking along the horizon, she would talk with him as he slowly grew up. She would leave messages with him and have him chase off into the horizon after his father, only to return with the messages of Lordran's own. Though the two could never touch so long as they walked the mortal plane, Ipni could show them each other's love, and would give off a gentle reminder of his father's light to Sunette in the world below. Though Lordran had plans forming in his mind on how he may finally meet face to face with his lover, though that is a tale for another time.